So good morning, everyone. Welcome to our One Taiji lecture a week from the European Taiji Culture Communication Center. First of all, I would like to wish you and your family a very happy new year of 2027. The European Taiji Culture Communication Center is a global network platform and provided a gateway for many of deeper application of traditional Chinese culture, philosophy, medicine, and sinology. We have worldwide grandmaster in this field to give public lecture. We hope more and more people would like to enjoy the beauty Chinese culture. My name is Yang from Germany. Today, we will continue to learn our Yang style 37 form Taijiquan from our master Zhao Youbin and his son Zhao Liang. In the first class of last time, mainly explained the requirement of step technique, leg technique, including bow stance, 弓步, black wall stance, 退步, empty stance, 虚步, horse riding stance, 马步, one leg stance, stance, 独立步, and crouch stance, 夫步. So now we have the sixth lessons. This lesson is mainly explain the practice of the empty stance, 虚步. The sitting stance is a kind of empty stance. 虚步的形体主要是在后腿。Empty stance, the most weight of body should be the hind leg. 在这个形体的重心主要是在后腿，重心分配的是前9前1或者后8前2之间。Okay, now we will show the learning video from Mr. Zhao for the demonstration of the Form 14 close hand, Form 15 single whips, and Form 16 high part of horse. Okay, now I will just share the learning video.
It's the sixth lesson for the 37 form course. I will explain more basic essentials of techniques for hands, eyes, body, and stances. In the last class, we went through the essential requirements for bow stance techniques. We will touch on the essentials of empty stance. This will be the main topic of today's lecture. Both bow stance and empty stance are the most basic movements in Chinese arts. But the tip of the toe is up. In the form raising hands, we also have empty stance, but with the heel touching the ground and the tip of the toe slightly upward. In the forms playing the pipa and white crane spreads its wings, we also have empty stance, but with the sole of foot on the ground. In the form high pad on the horse, we have a high empty stance, still with the weight on the back leg. In the form needle at the bottom of the sea, the empty stance is with the body bent forward and the sole of the foot on the ground. These forms of empty stance have both common and special points. I will introduce some key points respectively. In the movement of warding off, rolling back, pressing, and pushing, the weight moves backward with the whole sole of the foot on the ground. It is called sitting stance. This moving process is a kind of motion state of fixed step, either bow stance or sitting stance, and so forth. For example, very often we can see such states in fixed step pushing hands. We should master the following key points. Firstly, do not move the weight backward too much, at most about 80 to 90% onto the back leg, and 10 to 20% onto the front leg. For a sitting stance, we may also reduce the ratio, that is, 60 to 70% of the weight onto the back leg is allowed. Why? Because on the one hand, we are rolling back. On the other hand, it implies advancing, and we push forward immediately. The ratio is decided and adjusted according to the power released by the level or requirements of performing routines. But there is one principle, that is, the sitting bone should not exceed the heel. If so, the movements would be dead and the front leg would be floating. With the exception of single leg stance, for all empty stances of sitting back, the sitting bone, tailbone, must be above the heel or 3 centimeters inward. Why so? Because it is neither forward step, nor backward step, nor single leg stance. This is because between solidness and emptiness of two legs, yin and yang exist together. Emptiness and solidness depend on each other. It is not a pure solid step, nor a pure empty step. This is the basic principle. Look, if you are rolling back till here, the weight is too far backward, and the hip is pressed, squeezed. You should draw in the hip in all empty stances. You should not press the back hip. On the contrary, you should draw it back to allow it to have enough room for moving. For all empty stances, it is not allowed that 100% of weight is on the back leg and the front leg is completely empty. This is a basic requirement for the sitting stance. Now, let's talk about the heel touching the ground in the form single wave and raising hands. Please distinguish solidness and emptiness for the following movement. Turn the left tip of the toe inward about 30 degrees and move the weight on the left. Lift the right knee and lower the heel to the ground. At this moment, some practitioners feel that this movement is over, is finished, or after dropping the heel on the ground, they move the weight forward to form a bow stance. Both thoughts are wrong. During a changeover between advancing and retreating from single whip to raising hands, emptiness and solidness is very clear. That is, firstly move the whole weight onto the left leg, balance the body, lift the right leg, and lower the foot down. Please note, during this movement, it is the left leg and the hip that support lifting and dropping the right leg. As soon as the foot lowers, the work of the hip is finished. Next, we need to relax the waist and hips to transmit the hip force onto the front heel. It is just a tiny sinking motion. When dropping down the right heel, do not intentionally turn the tip of the toe up. Of course, don't press it down either. The reason is that when the force of the right hip sinks down onto the heel, there is no force on the right instep and tip of the toe, and the weight is on the back leg, so the tip of the toe naturally raises up a little bit. So I hope that you all may understand and feel it. The changes of the legs affect changes in the weight of the body, in the flexibility of movements, and in the force as well. The most important part of the leg is the knee joint. After the foot lowers on the ground, if there is nothing changed for the leg, it is straight, rigid, and not flexible. The force would be floating. In the last class, we referred to the back leg. It must be neither too bent nor too straight, so that the knee joint could be able to transmit the power forward. If you feel that the leg is too straight, just relax it. Then that is okay. If you bend the back leg more, then it is too curved. The force would be weak. So we must try to master its degree. It is the same for the front leg in empty stance. Please note, after the front heel lowers to the ground, the crotch force slightly sinks forward and down, just as forming a root of the leg. Meanwhile, muscles of the knee joint should be slightly pulled up, also the same for the bow stance. For example, for the bow stance in the form brushing knee in twist step, the force must not sink down. On the contrary, muscles of the knee joint should be pulled up. Pulling up of the muscles of the knee joint and sinking down of the left hip joint form a lever effect. Then the front leg is stable. As beginners, you may not feel it, but try to use this idea, this thought of mind to guide your motion. You will gradually get this feeling of the force during your continuous exercises. Now, empty stance again. After the front heel touches the ground, the weight slightly sinks forward and down. The muscles of the knee joint are slightly pulled up. Now, the whole leg is elastic and stable. It is neither too bent nor too straight. This is the complete process of a bow stance. But if the movement is like this, it is incomplete. If I move forward a little more, it is a superfluous movement. So we must try to master a reasonable state of these fixed postures in motion. This is very important. In a former class, we said that for a bow stance, both front leg and back leg should be powerful, and the crotch coordinates the force. So the crotch force is just like the third leg. It is the same for an empty stance. While we drop down the foot on the ground, we cannot simply just relax the hip and sink the force forward. We should open the crotch, making it round, and meanwhile draw in the external force of the lower limb, making the hips round. In our mind and our sense, we should feel that it is the crotch that coordinates and integrates the force and produces a penetrating force through the hands and the ground. The crotch always plays a function of coordination and balancing solidness and emptiness. This is a key point for all kinds of stances. steps. The above is about the heel touching the ground, and another one is about the sole of the foot touching the ground. For example, in the form raising hands, after its last posture called body stroke, the first posture of the form wide crane spreads its wings is the sole of the foot lowering to the ground. Look, it is not like this, casually putting it on the ground. The sole of the foot must lightly rub the ground forward with the heel a little raised. But how high is the heel from the ground? Watch and listen carefully. Look, it is not acceptable if you drop down the foot with the instep popped up, because the calf muscles would be tightened and hard. The sole would be floating without any sticky force. The right way should be, after raising the leg, we drop it down with the ankle relaxed. It seems that I do not raise the heel, but now I push the force of the hips and of the crotch forward onto the sole. The heel naturally rises a little bit. As long as your heel does not touch the ground, the sole of the foot is solid and the heel is empty. It is equivalent of raising up the heel. Never press the tip of toe on the ground and pop up the instep. As I say, that practicing Taijiquan is like taking a walk. All joints must be relaxed. For the sole of the foot landing, we should note, we lift the leg and roughly drop the foot down. The sole lightly rubs the ground forward. Meanwhile, we relax the right hip and sink it forward. There must be no deformation of the instep of the leg or of the foot, even though I exert power. The leg has a relaxed and elastic force. The weight is required to move forward 3 centimeters or half of it. But be sure, the tailbone must be perpendicular to the heel or a little inward. The crotch force is between the two legs and flexibly balances the weight on both legs for supporting the body. The two legs are supporting each other to keep the balance. This is that the weight point must be within the range of their support. It is very similar to playing a seesaw. If the other one suddenly leaves his post, you would fall down. This is losing the balance. In both empty stance and bow stance, it is reasonable if the weight is flexible at any balance point between the two legs for supporting you. For an empty stance, 80 to 90% of the weight is on the back leg. In the form, white crane spreads its wings. When lifting the left foot, do not directly stretch it out and drop it down like this. There should be a slight rubbing process on the ground with a forward movement of the weight. Now let's talk about the high empty stance in the form high pat on the horse. When the form single whip is over, we need to draw back the leg for the form high pat on the horse. Some friends pull the leg back like this. Some take it back stiffly. Neither is correct. This is a typical movement for the front foot in the form high pad on the horse. The movement is driven by the waist muscles. Look, the weight moves backward. The hip turns rightward. When drawing back the waist, the front leg is relaxed. Lift the leg. Raise up the body. It is not right if you simply draw back the leg like this, or with the leg straight. It is the waist that rotates and pulls the leg back, and then step forward elastically. Again, the weight moves backward. Turn the body, draw the waist back, lift the leg, relax and extend the body, drop the front foot down and rub the ground forward. Stretch both the back and front legs. The front leg must be neither too bent nor too straight, neither too backward nor too forward. 90% of the weight is on the back leg. Look. Lift the left leg and raise up the body, full of flexibility. Though the left leg has only 10% of the weight, it is full of power to support the whole body and transmit the force to the front palm. Briefly, the empty stance in the form high pad on the horse is driven by the waist, and the hip draw back, then front leg. Relax it, lift it, and subconsciously step down. There is a stretching movement, an inner and elastic force ready to support a wall about to collapse. In all empty stances, there is no non-weight-bearing front leg. During the changing process, solidness and emptiness should be clearly distinguished. Once the front foot drops down, it must have at least 10% of the weight, not over 20%. But during forward and backward moving, the percentage may be controlled within 40 to 60%, depending on specific states such as low or high postures, etc. The coordination of the two legs in solidness and emptiness is very important. That's all for today's explanation about empty steps. Thank you. Now it's time for Zhao Liang.
左脚跟微内收，左手臂外旋，由下上捧，重心左移，扣，右脚尖，右手下落。2，起右脚，两手向左边匀去，两手要平，右手对走。3，右脚落，右手起，左手落，到正前方。重心右移，腰右转，两手向右侧方伸出，手要平。接着，左脚横跨一步，先脚掌后脚跟，重心向中间移，马步。此时左手在上，右手在下。 接着重心左移，腰左转，右手起，左手落，同时抬右拳，云手。再来一遍。云手，收左脚跟，左手捧，右手落，同时后右脚尖，取右脚跟，体左转，两手平，右腿起。二，右脚落，平行，眼神要随右手走，松腰胯，横跨一步，膝开挡圆，马步。接着重心左移，腰左转，手脚相随。右脚稍斜内扣下落，先脚掌后脚跟，两手仍然做云手的动作，向右斜方伸出去，右手做吊手势，同时左脚迈出，右手弧形展出。注意前手三肩相对，后手吊手与右脚尖基本对。第一动，右脚跟稍收，右手变掌，左掌心翻朝上，重心后移，腰微右转，眼随右手，同时起左脚往回收，脚掌落地，身体徐徐立起，右手前探，左手带回。再做一遍。注意重心平稳的后移，坐稳，用腰带回左脚，脚掌落地，然后徐徐升起。注意沉腰胯，拔背，两手前后拉开，眼随右手前视。
Hello everyone! Last time we learned the 13th applique flying style. Now today's topic is 14th, 云手, claw hand style. 云手 moves horizontally from left to right with two hands drawn arc in front of the body. Now I'll do it first.In the 85 style, the claw hands usually starts with a single whip. Make an arc motion up and down in front of you, and move your feet parallel to the nerves. While looking at this, it seems to move in a continuous way, just like the heel rolling forward, as if there is no starting point. Actually, there is a starting point, although it's a round movement. For example, after coming from single whip, its starting point is at this position. Keep your hands shoulder level and up your right nerve, then turn round like this. Go further to the left and return to this position again. This is first round of Yun Shou. This is complete practice way in 85. The connector in 37 is slightly different. Follows the obliquely flying style learned last time. It is not the positive direction, but slightly to the right. Next, turn your body to face the camera. First move, heel inward, left foot continue to turn left. Lift your right leg and spread your hand on the left side of your body. This is the transitional action. Take a closer look. First, the direction of the act just now is towards this side. Be sure to turn your body. Adjust your toes at first. Left heel inward. Hip and knees open. The tip toes outward. Bring the heel back and make the tip toes face the camera. Drive the right heel to bring the right foot in. During the left turning, get inside buckle. Now keep weight moving to the left. Turn left, relax hips, lift your knees, and roll your waist upright left. Do it in a row. This is a leg movement. Now about hands. Hands apart and then meet on the left side. Stop on the shoulder level. What do hands do in the earth? Left hand wadding nerve upward. Turn your palm outward and follow from high to low. Unfold. Raise hand, join round, and then reach out. Now next, down the right hand, bend the elbow, upward. Lift the right leg to meet the left hand. Watch out. Buckle left foot buckled and keep barking the right foot. Right hand falls to the lowest point. Stop at your right crotch. Then move your weight. The right hand brings your right leg upward and spread your hand to the starting position. Look at it from the back. Hearing, shift weight, turn waist and buckle feet, shifting the weight and the wrist up the knee with the right leg. Look again. The left hand goes up, while the right hand goes down. Right hand brings your right leg upward. Hand reaches out. Hands meet. Side left shoulder. Now here is a transitional form, oblique flying to cloud hands. Now let's go to the Yun Shou section. The Yun Shou is a left horizontal act, with two hands drawing a circle in the air, doing circular motion, not like the other moves learned before. like 搂膝奥步. 1, 2, 3, and 4 step forward. Seems easy to find obvious partial note. 云手 also has its own note, just like drawing a circle. Draw it cross first, then take its 4 peaks, and then connect the 4 peaks with an arc. So it is close to a circle. 云手 also has their 4 peaks. Hands move to the shoulder level, right hand in the highest, and left hand in lowest. Then keep rolling with both hands to the right side of the body and stop at shoulder level. Then the left hand upward to the highest, while the right hand down to the lowest. There are its 4 peaks. Then back to the starting point. The 4 peaks match it by drawing a circle with 2 hands. Break it up into 4 parts. Now, more details here. First, location. While doing it, keep the bell stance bent, body as well. Be in the same height. Up and down, always squatter here, not standing up. First, left leg squatter, right leg up to the highest. Curl both hands. 虎口 of left hand aim to the shoulder socks. The elbow bent slightly. Right palm faces the left elbow. At this time, the body is in the balance. Right foot lands with the frontal foot first. Shift weight to the right to balance your legs. Draw an arc with your right hand upward and pass by your eyes. Left hand downward, turning your palm inward, outside of your abdomen. Right hand is on the outside of your right eye, just like holding a pillar or a ball in the middle. Arm be around it. At this time, the right hand is the highest and left hand is the lowest on the upper and lower sides. Stand with your feet parallel. Balance your weight. The third point, turn the right palm outward, extend it outward. Shoulder opened, elbow dropped, and palm roots sunk. Draw a long arc to fall outward. 虎口 aim at the shoulder sock. Left palm facing inward. Hang the wrist up to meet the falling right hand at the shoulder level. Close them. Left hand arm at right elbow. Turn right with your foot. Move the weight to the right. Up left leg. Balance the hands and legs. This is the third point. Now don't worry. Take a big step outward with your left foot. Frontal foot touches the ground. Process of putting the heel down is to shift weight, gripping firmly. The left foot is all on the ground. Distribute the weight on both feet equally. Meanwhile, after lunge, put your left hand upward with the palm inward. Bend your right elbow and rotate your arm, keep the palm inward. Now symmetrical opposite to the second point just now. Left hand is outside left eye. Right hand is beside right abdomen, like holding a ball or a pillar and looking straight. This is fourth point. Then turn left again. Hand spread. Right hand brings the right leg up. Look at the left side and return to the starting point. They are the 4 points of Yunshou. Just now, I explained the basic essential of Yunshou movement and made a floor demonstration on the front and back. Here's a few things to pay attention to. 1. When doing Yunshou movement, first knowing that the starting position is on the left side of the body. How to count? Like 搂膝二步, which is easy to count one from left, one from right. But in Yunshou, your left hand returns to this position. Count 1. In the 37 style is a complete circle. Here, leg step is single whip. There are no repeated movements in the whole 37 style, but only the single whip occurs in 2 places. Of course, in terms of layout, mainly because of this, when we learn the 85 style, overall flow is more closer and more familiar, convenient for the further study, so return a single whip here. Sometimes have questions. Why is one more single whip here? Now, make it clear here. Second, turning hands in front of your body, curve your hands over with body turning. For example, starting from this point, when left hand extends outward, left palm faces inward, goes outward and turns outward, palm facing outward to this position. Left hand keep falling, the palm inward, turn the thumb outward, and bend elbow to make palm inward. At the far end of your body, when the hand goes to the other side, the palm always facing inward. A half circle like this. Putting the hand out and take them back, you have to turn it twice. Either, when it goes to the far end, the palm always faces inward. When facing in, the thumb always turns outward slightly. Keep the palm turning inward and turn to the little finger side. After falling, to the little finger side again. Hand shape is constantly changing. Now when doing this, it's often easy to press the hand down. No changing hand shape. Pay attention here. Second, Yunshou goes squatly. Move the gravity sturdily while shifting to the bow stance. Look upward relaxed. Hips, knees, and feet relax as well. Don't lift your legs too high to step out. After raising, open the relaxed outward gently. The feet will stick to the ground. Keep your crouch stable while moving the gravity. Sit here, not in low or high. Always squat here and sit in crouch. Turn your body, lift your knees, and relax your hips. The foot can fall down easily. Be relaxed and keep the whole stable. Then, just like other up and down movements, have to lift knees and legs and fall down completely relaxed. so that you can walk like cat in a nice and sturdy way. Now I added more to Yun Shou. Next, I'll start from the obliquely flying pose and connect them for you, cause the rotation of this movement is a little larger. Start from 闪通背. Back your feet. Turn hands round. Step back. Swing foot. Keep longing. Go left foot and apart your hands. Then widen the left hand upward. And lower the right hand down to get here. One more again from back. You can also see that the joint action after Yun Shou is single whip, Yun Shou and single whip, which is fixed partner in the 85 style. The 37 style, from obliquely flying to Yun Shou, there still single whip behind it. Single whip, pressing the two palms out at them. Foot, the wrist, the hands to the upper of left neck, elbows bent. Take the wrist back, turn body to the right. Relax the left hip, left knee, turn the left palm back, and push your right palm out. Remember this position. Then step up from here to hold the hook. Make a bow stance with the pushing palm. This is the front position of it. From Yun Shou to single whip, back to front position at this moment. Left foot supports. Right foot lifts. The first step is to put down the right foot, and then upper left leg to get the bow stance. So, the first move is to put right foot down. Be curved with right foot downward, knee upward, hips relaxed, neck sink naturally. Then turn your body slightly to the left and back in at most 45 degrees. Because the angle with the right direction cannot be less than 45 degrees, but pay attention not to swing the tip tail outward, or the angle will be greater than 40 degrees when lunge. Then relax left hip. Left turning laterally brings left knee upward. Keep your crouch open and relaxed. The knee joint faces straight toward. Drop the heel gently. Now we get a bow stance. From side view again. Right foot turns slightly to the left, falling laterally. Move the gravity to the right. Relax left hip and stretch out naturally. Lift knee straight forward. Then heel touches ground slightly. Just kick and lunge. The right palm is on the left hand, with the leg falling. Turn it over, holding the palm root. Spread it outward. Remember lowering shoulder, dropping elbow, sitting wrist, not too hard. Let the thumb stand up, 5 fingers downward slightly, and let one side of little finger cut to the right, like a knife edge. Move the left thumb outward and hold it to the chest. Rounded, eyes on the right hand. Spreading hand, round armpit. When hold it back, can form pinch armpit, and the angle of armpit becomes smaller. The inside is not very round. It's like holding a ball. The force is too bigger. It will burst or flat. When hand backward, shoulders, elbows should be opened. Thumb turns outward. The whole inside be rounded. The right hand open. The shoulders be rounded forward. Only in this way can the push palm be powerful. Have her look. Foot drop. Right palm think. Left shoulder elbow opened. Held back. Eyes on the right hand. Step up. Heel forward. Right wrist pushes forward. 5 fingers naturally hold back. Left elbow point forward. Then kicked and turned. Seek left shoulder. Lower the elbow. Sit wrist, hold the palm and push forward. Pull right wrist backward and look forward. Do it again in this direction. Drop. Step up. Kick. Rotate wrist and pull away. Look back again. This single whip comes from Yunshou. I explained how Yunshou changed into a single whip and reviewed the practice of single whip. Now let's go on starting the 16th form, 高探马. At the naming price, this action stands slightly higher than other actions. And the right hand should be pointed forward. First of all, let's talk about stirrups. When standing here, it seems to be similar to 白鹤亮智. This action is also in a high empty stirrup. As we learned before, there are 2 kinds of empty stirrups. The first one is represented by 提手上势, 手挥琵琶, 肘底捶, heel touches the ground. The forefoot downward means the leg is used to kick down. 白鹤亮智 touches the ground means the movement of kicking and hooking. So the standing figure is slightly higher than the lunge and empty stirrup. Because this kind of action has the trend of pulling up and down, supporting back and forth, the left pulling and right splitting, therefore the posture be more stretched and upped than other movements, which is characteristic of this kind of action. Since the 高探马 is an empty stirrup means the front neck be pulled back. In fact, The action is very simple. Move the gravity backward. The right hand sinks from the back to the front, stick out, and the left hand backward with back hand stack. One front, one behind, support each other, but 白鹤亮字 is up and down supporting. The first move, right elbow bend back to the ear side. Meanwhile, the front palm turned up. What kind of action does this front hand look like? Like 倒脸猴. Palm pushes out, elbow dropped, wrist turned over, and palm upward. The two have similarities. This is first move. Turn your head back. Look at your right hand and notice the change in your body. Sit back with a lunge to shift your weight to the back legs and turn to the right. This is the first move. The second move, upper left nerve. Turn to the left. Left knee and left nerve. After lifting, implies taking back half a step. Then loosen the crouch root and dropping the front foot. The empty step has a process of adjusting gravity. This foot is sticky to the ground. The gravity shifted forward by 10% to 30%. In this process, right hand stretched forward from ear side, the left hand back to the front of left abdomen. Look ahead. From back, first move, turn left hand up, right elbow bend, and watch your right hand while sitting back. Second move, turn body to left, lift left knee and neck. Left foot dropped, press gravity forward and downward. Stretch right hand forward while taking left hand back. Front view again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 movements. Now attention to the following tips. Elbow bends forward from behind, bends forward. This is her movement. We break it up into 2 parts. Second, the front hand does not fall down when the right elbow bends back. Drop hand. When the right hand goes forward, the left hand pulls back. When the right hand goes forward, pull the left hand back horizontally to the front of abdomen, the chest. Not too high, but no. Draw an arc on one side of little finger and push it forward like a cutting knife. Ear side. So 5 fingers point forward or with sitting palm. This is forward. Curl about hand shape. Third, as mentioned just now, this is ambisturb, but also high ambisturb. In the ambisturb, when the foot is pulled back to the ground, the foot gently stick to the ground, stretch forward. The gravity cannot be moved forward, so that gravity is easy to lean forward. When moving forward with your hands, transfer 10% to 30% of your body weight forward. At the same time, pull your hips inward to make your wrists move backward. Keep your weight near your back leg to keep you stable. The right hand forward, left hand backward. The right leg pushed on the ground slightly. Press the weight forward. Pull the hip back. The back is put up and forward, sending the right hand forward to form a front and back supporting so that 高探马 can be full of strength. Next, I will demonstrate the 3 movements I've talked about today. 闪通背 Turn hands round. Lift knees, step back, heel knees and swing your feet while shifting weight. Keep shifting. Wrap your hips, anchor your feet, and part your hands. Then cloud hands. Single whip. High horse. That is. One more again from back. Here, the class's 37 style of Yang's Taijiquan, the explanation of the 14th, 15th, and 16th forms is over. Thank you.
Oh, thank you for joining this video and our Master Zhao. 赵老师还在吗？
你好，
哎，赵老师好，非常感谢您
能看见吗
37式太极拳的
挺好的
解释啊，非常好。
大家有什么意见吗？有什么
不
明白的
？Everybody has question about the form close hand, 云手 single whip and high head of horse. 大家有问题吗？这个我们新学的这个示范动作，第14式云手、单边和高探马。这边有一个问题，请问赵老师，高探马的技击用法上与倒卷猴有什么不同？
高探马是对方的左手，我用左手踩住对方的左手，带回来，右手向对方的面部扑去，或者用反关节推他的左肘，形成一个反向的运动，使左手和对方左手相对。倒撵猴是对方的右手擒住我的左手，这个手两个手是不一样的。左手呢，这倒撵猴左手翻腕，右手扑面打出去，这是一个最基本的一个区别。就是双方的手出手的这个不一样啊。高探马是左手对左手这个倒撵猴呢是我的左手对对方的右手这个区别倒撵猴是板腕劲，对方拿住我的手腕，我一翻腕一沉，他就这个劲儿就卸掉了，我右手就出手了，就是这个意思。
Jasmine 林还说如何避免果当与夹当
如何夹当是吧？
对，
如何避免这个我们练太极拳呀， 第一是要放松，第二是要开。放松的目的是为开而打基础的，也就是说，武术运动、太极运动，它是一种放长的、放开的一种运动，就是有张有弛。你自然状态下或者收回来的时候，它是收回来的、合的。但是你要出击的时候，它是个骨力啊、骨骼要展开的，要抻筋拔骨的，比你正常的活动范围要增大。所以说这个太极拳这个新冠病呀，这个恢复健康啊，它柔性的这种舒缓的运动啊，对心肌炎、对康复啊，这个都非常有好处的。那个我说这话的意思什么意思？就是说这个你比如说胯骨要开，就是我们正常走路的时候，或者蹲下的时候、半蹲的时候，是不运动的状态下，它是一种这个很自然的没有想到一种运动。但是我们练拳时候呢，就开这个胯的话，就是一边往下屈蹲，一边胯根呀，骨与骨之间就拉开了，使它内力往外开，好像把骨骼的间隙拉开了，好像你的身体的这个外围也比原来你自然状态就开了这是开。下当呢，就是说膝盖不要合这个往往就是说是腿部不能够放松的情况下会产生夹裆的。所以在放松的基础上，一是胯要开，二是呢膝盖不要夹裆但是也不是故意散开的，它是脚力有一个宁静，往里扣的宁静这个将来最好的还是面对面的指点是最妙他身体上有个感悟这个说呢就是要靠大家学者的理解了
非常感谢赵老师。对对，这个太极拳就是一个放松，然后把那个身体的骨架，然后骨档开合，然后增加它的这个张力跟
弹性。
So should I do a simple translation in English? Just James Lin asked what is different between the 倒卷喉还有高探马我那个简单的给他们不会的会中文的听不懂的翻译一下course I have 高探马还有this course I have 倒卷喉and very important is the relaxing the flexibility of the body. So it's so 开合 open and close for the body and all the this is very important for the Taijiquan exercises. OK 大家还有什么问题吗？如果大家之前的前面的6课，我们可以在 YouTube 欧洲太极的那个网站上可以看回放。我们的网站已经开通了，然后大家也可以，国内的朋友呢也可以看我们的网站，也可以加入我们的群里边，好吧？那谢谢赵老师了，我们祝您提前预祝您新春快乐，春节快乐。
好，
对，下一次
也祝大家兔年吉祥。
对，兔年吉祥。对，
好
OK， if somebody，
谢谢大家，谢谢你谢谢你
OK，thank you of all, and Mr. Zhao also wish you a very happy Chinese New Year, Spring Festival of Rabbit.
Happy New Year.
Rabbit.